The next thing I'd like to talk about is carpal tunnel or carpal tunnel syndrome. My wife has carpal tunnel. She's a letter carrier. I'll explain carpal tunnel crudely, and hopefully it'll help people understand it like it helps me understand it. Even though I've heard people, doctors and different experts explain it with all the technical terms, but basically carpal tunnel is there's little channels where tendons and nerves and things go through in your wrist. And there's a little spongy-like substance starts to grow, and it inhibits and squeezes because it narrows that tunnel, if you will. And it causes some nasty things to happen. Heavy pain, etc. Burning, etc. The normal way that the medical establishment deals with it is surgery. My mother had the surgery many years ago on both wrists before I knew any of this stuff, and her wrist still burned. Well, it helped for a little while, but they still burned. It started causing her some grief, etc. My wife never went through the surgery because when they diagnosed her and they put a brace on her hand, what caused her to really get concerned is she almost dropped one of our nieces, one of her sister's kids. This is like 20 years ago, maybe. And so she went and had it all checked out, found out she had carpal tunnel. And it's from repetitive motion. Well, postal workers have a lot of repetitive motion with their fingers, dealing with the mail, etc., etc. Not only putting it in the way they're getting ready to carry it on their route, but when they're out in the route, my wife carries a whole slew of stuff in her hand, and she's doing stuff with her fingers all the time. And I told her what I had read at the time in Prevention Magazine about vitamin B6. I had never met Doc Wallach or any of these people yet. In fact, it was, I think, more than 20 years ago. And she said, well, what are you talking about B6? I explained it to her. It's called paradoxin. Now, there's more to it again than B6. And Doc Wallach explains it. It's the same page, 99. It's about a quarter of a page or an eighth of a page long, maybe 2 paragraphs. I'll read you what Doc Wallach says. Treatment includes vitamin B6, zinc, cartilage, or beef gelatin, or shark cartilage, and that compares to surgery. Surgery doesn't really work. Nobody that I know, there may be a few, that have had surgery that was successful and it prevented the problem from coming back. I don't know how that would be possible because it's clear that you have a vitamin B6 deficiency, and that's what allows this little sponge-like growth to take place. Well, my wife got on vitamin B6. It's water soluble, straight B6. It's very inexpensive. You can buy it all over the place. And she did, I believe, besides what was in her multiple vitamin, etc., she did 400 to 500 milligrams a day. And it took a very short time. I can't remember exactly how many days or weeks, but the pain stopped. She didn't have to wear the brace, and she did 400 or 500 milligrams of B6 a day for a period until she had no more problems at all, not even a twinge. And then she backed down. So as a rule right now, unless I'm mistaken, maybe she's changed, but I don't think so, she does about 200 to 300 milligrams of B6 over and above what's in her multiple vitamin every day. Yes, she does the liquid minerals, 72 plant-derived minerals, and all the other stuff, but she does that every day. She carries a brace in her pack that she goes to work with, just in case, because some days it'll start to bother her and she has to beef up on the B6 again. Maybe she sweats too much. I don't know what it is, but that's the way it goes. But she's never had the surgery. She doesn't have problems as a rule at all. And if you want to get rid of the problem of carpal tunnel, get on paradoxin or vitamin B6. And you might need the other things that I read to you with Doc Wallach's book. My wife does zinc and beef gelatin every day. And it, almost guaranteed it'll take care of the problem. If you're patient enough and persistent enough on doing what you need to do intake-wise every day.